FTX has been shut down. They owe creditors billions of dollars, but we just discovered they're burning through $2 million a day. That's at least $100 an hour. This is Around the Blockchain. Thank you for joining. I think my math's right. Guys, we have a fantastic episode, so please hit that like button. Let's just get right into it. On the bottom left, we have Wendy O in the green square right there. Now, Wendy, how's those Frenemies episodes going? When can we expect the next one?
That's a good question. We should probably ask the producers of the show. I'm just an idiot on the internet, and I come into the office maybe once a month just to absolutely irritate all of you. And apologies.
It's well worth it. I'm just an idiot with the monkey JPEG. Also on today, we have Evan Aldo, and you may see the square behind him, but he's doing anything but keeping a square. He's crushing it in the Discord. Make sure you join his Discord. Evan Aldo, where can they find that information?
So the Discord, it's linked below on all the on all my YouTube videos, I believe. So check out the channel. The channel's good too for the the free content, and then there is a free Discord community as well. That's mainly just a chat channel, and the premium stuff with me and 2 other pro analysts. That's what you got to pay for.
Evan, did you have a long in?
Yeah, I did. To be completely transparent, I did have an ETH short in this morning that got stopped out, and then I went long just before the pump on Bitcoin. So not right 100% of the time, but did make that money back and then some.
+1 for admitting the defeat there. Also, last but not least, we have Randi. And Randi, I heard you might be getting some new equipment. Are you going with the mic first or the camera?
Oh, no, this mic is beautiful. I love my mic. And I kind of like my camera too. I just need a PC that functions, but it's all of the growing pains. I started this off with a little laptop, and I'm going to, upgrade as I go. Everyone starts with nothing and you become someone with something, right?
Hey, I still have an Abacus at home. Let us know your gaming rig in the comments. Maybe she'll see. Maybe she'll check it out. Maybe she'll have the same computer as you. All right, well, let's get right into it. MasterCard's dirty little secret. It looks like they might be taking a little jump into the crypto sector here. We have the smoking gun. It is trademark applications specifically tied to cryptocurrency technology. Looks like they want to make crypto transactions as easy as swiping a MasterCard. Their application, quote, this is from their trademark application, is to streamline crypto transactions, provide seamless connectivity with their virtual asset service providers, VASP, or their VASPs. I looked at some of the MasterCard stats there. 366 million transactions daily, 360 million transactions, and high volume of partnerships. Due to the amount of their global reach, it's actually bigger than Visa as far as number of users. 25,000 financial institutions. We're not talking about merchants. We're not talking about the guy selling hot dogs. You swipe the MasterCard. We're talking about actual financial institutions. They have relationships. 25,000 different banks there. So now, Wendy, I mean, you've been in this space. We've heard rumors of, Visa's getting involved, MasterCard's getting involved. I heard rumors since the 2017 bull run. Well, now it appears that something's actually here. We're looking at trademark applications. We're close to the finish line here. What are your thoughts about Visa and MasterCard getting into the crypto space? What will that look like for retail?
So initially I was really excited about all these types of partnerships, but now I'm old and I'm jaded. I've just been in the space too long. No, I just get a little bit concerned because I feel like, okay, we don't have any type of regulatory clarity from the SEC. And I also believe that the SEC does need a complete overhaul. We shouldn't have somebody that is in charge of making decisions that is appointed by a president or appointed by anybody. I feel like people do need to be voted in. If you're a public servant, which basically means you're somebody who's acting on the public's behalf, that is accepting a salary with taxpayer dollars, you should be voted in. I think that would be the right thing to do. So not only does the SEC need a complete overhaul, but when we're talking about crypto assets, we really need a separate entity to decide or to give some sort of guidelines. We've allowed the SEC to kind of do so, and it's been nothing but a nightmare and a mess for gosh knows how long. So I think for adoption wise, this is kind of cool, but at the same time, we're supposed to be operating in a true decentralized economy. Should we be copywriting and trademarking and doing these types of things? And again, I do not want retail to get left behind. That is my biggest concern, is that people are going to see all these types of partnerships and get super excited, but they're not going to think about the long-term impacts of this. And again, I root for the underdogs. I root for the non-accredited investors, the retail. I root for the poor people. I'm one of them. I'm not an accredited investor yet. And we should be able to have equal access to all financial markets with a simple test.
Yeah. Very simple test. Make it, similar to a Coinbase test, okay. Oh, that's what the graph does. Thank you. Hey, I'm an accredited investor now. Good point. We're talking about, or go ahead.
Sorry. Do you remember the little Coinbase quizzes that you had, and that you would get like a $50 amount? And like, I remember getting some of those and being able to buy like a steak dinner or something silly, because number would end up going up and I would trade those, but it was fun.
Yeah, always good stuff. They should bring it back. I think it was one of their better features that they had. I'm glad you brought up retail, maybe staying on the sidelines. If anything, could be getting shaken out by all the negative headlines, vastly dwarfing the positive ones. Well, Evan, I'm positive you would do a good job as MasterCard CEO. I can just tell by the button. Your shirt has buttons, so you do a better job than me, I'm going to assume here. If you were the CEO of MasterCard, what would your strategy? Would it involve custody of crypto assets? If you're going to facilitate, Bitcoin payments, maybe you want to branch into El Salvador, would you consider maybe having some Bitcoin? That way you don't have to rely on 10-minute block times. You don't have to worry about Lightning Network. Would you be your own Lightning Network?
Yeah, I think that's probably what they're inevitably going to do. A lot of these, I mean, I don't think they would be doing anything with crypto if they didn't have at least some type of plan of storing some of it. I mean, if they thought it was all going to go to zero and it was going to be nothing, I don't think they'd want any part of it. So it would at least be, sure, they're enticed by, they could charge more transaction fees on top of the transaction fees that Bitcoin already has. That's one big thing. Also, they could, and they're probably looking at, we're looking at a market where SEC is starting to get stricter. They're going after suing Coinbase and Binance, as we all know. Regulation's probably going to come within the next couple of years here. That's what they're thinking about. And they're thinking about ultimately repeating the pattern of the next bull run coming up. So everybody wants a piece of the pie. And those who are patient and are starting to get in when it's low right now and it's down a lot. And if you look at history through it, look at the charts, we're in that accumulation year, similar to 2019. Similar to 2015. So I think ultimately, it's going to work out well for them. This is bullish news for the macro. I mean, will this make Bitcoin go up within the next couple of months? I don't know. But I do think that ultimately it will be one of the things that will probably, one of the many, many things that will probably help Bitcoin potentially make new all-time highs in the next bull run, most likely sometime in 2025 if history repeats itself here. So ultimately, these things, they're good. Will they make the price go up in the next couple months? They could be more of a sell the news type thing. Keep in mind, guys, this year, look at what happened in 2019. We had some wild volatility. Like we had some 40% drops, 30% run ups in the second half of 2019. Don't get too greedy. Don't be FOMOing in. Just follow. This is the time to breathe and time to take a strategy and DCA in, because you don't want to be, left out of it. Don't follow the wicks. Don't follow the tops.
All right. Well, speaking of following the tops, a lot of people have a similar top, Evan, Aldo. Nice segue. So hit a +1 if you have buttons like Kenny or Alana. He too. So please hit that like button. All the button wearers. We love our people with buttons in the t-shirts here. All right. Well, I'm looking, at what MasterCard does as a business model, Randy. I've owned my own business. I'm pretty familiar with this. They'll charge maybe a set amount of pennies, per transaction. Oh, every time you swipe, we're going to charge you 5-10 cents. Or they'll do a percentage of the transaction. Oh, you swipe for 100, we're going to peel off a little, or just be a combination of the both. So they peel a little bit off the top off each transaction. That being said, do you see MasterCard pushing for Bitcoin adoption so they could peel off Satoshis from every Bitcoin transaction? Do they want to peel off a little Bitcoin for the big guy?
I think MasterCard has a lot on their plate. I think maybe they will try to integrate Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, people are using Lightning Network for remittance payments already as it is. A lot of countries are indirectly using Bitcoin where they're doing cross-border fiat to fiat transfers. So let's say I send a USD $500 and I want to convert it to euros, what a lot of platforms do. I think even Strike is doing this, where I send the USD, they use Bitcoin Lightning Network to send it. So the remittance payments are extremely low. And that way, the fees are extremely low, and people are saving actually billions of dollars by doing that. So I think, of course, they're going to try to get their cut. If you actually look back at what MasterCard has been doing, you guys could take a look at their website. They even say on their website that over 90% of central banks are working on central bank digital currencies. They actually took part in a New York Federal Reserve pilot program in November. So they could be a part of central bank digital currencies. They also, back in, I think it was March or something like that, they also filed 15 more trademarks for the metaverse. So they want to be involved in cultural events. They want to make sure basically they have their piece of a pie in terms of digital payments in the metaverse as well. So they have 15 different patents, trademarks going through. They have their hands in everything. So of course they're going to want to, hey, crypto people, I want to integrate crypto a little bit, maybe draw you in a little bit, have maybe some custody services, maybe, hey, I'm running a node now, we'll take care of you, we'll validate your transactions, A, B, and C. Bottom line, we don't need them. And we just could do that on our own with our own wallets in the most decentralized manner, like Wendy was kind of saying before. We have to maybe stick to the fundamentals. Of course, this could make people in TradFi, maybe newbies that don't know about crypto, feel more comfortable because the MasterCards are getting involved, the Visas are getting involved. But just be wary of, again, what they're doing behind the scenes.
All right. And thanks for the blast from the past. I forgot about their foray into the metaverse when metaverse was a little bit more popular. I think of, a cool metaverse. I'm in the Fortnite, the Adidas, the Nike, I'm watching Travis Scott. He's performing. It's an awesome concert. And then I go through the portal into the MasterCard metaverse. And, oh, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, they have their logos everywhere. The little red and yellow circle, they already have it patented, so it could be in the metaverse and they could take part in digital payments with whatever you're buying in the metaverse. Yeah, they got their hands in everything.
I'm going to be in the swamp, all right, with my fellow apes. All right, well, let's go to the second topic here, Citadel Exchange. You might remember Citadel came into the light. They got really popular back in 2021 with the Robinhood, the GameStop, and the AMC trading fiasco. Well, they ended up stopping the ability to trade those shares. Well, a lot of people got upset, started looking into what's going on here. Looked like Citadel actually owns a large chunk of Robinhood, one of its largest shareholders. And actually their business model was buying the information from Robinhood about your trades and then using that information to essentially front run with trades that, happen within milliseconds. Also, was it? I'm trying to find the name here. It's basically the big scandal there. They're going to front run it with arbitrage bots there, and they're going to high frequency trading. That was the word I was looking for. Well, this exchange that they're creating, big names are in it. Sequoia, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, to name a few. But this exchange is not for me. It's not for you. This is an exchange for exchanges, not for retail. There's going to be 4 coins to start: Bitcoin, Ether, then Tom Crown's favorite, Litecoin, and then Bitcoin Cash. And they're marketing themselves, hey guys, we are the safe and compliant source. Keyword compliant right there. Well, Citadel, they are known for their high frequency trading, Evan, Aldo, just like your Discord, right? It's just so many trades popping off. Also known for front running, and also known for, beating your trade by milliseconds. If they get into trading Bitcoin, is there going to be anything different here? Are they just going to use your trade to make some money off of you?
Oh man, it's tough to say. I mean, obviously we already have market makers, we have order books, we have a lot of information already out there that whales are using to, find liquidation points, hunt stop losses, and all those type of things. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that much worse. I mean, it depends how much of a conspiracy theorist you are. I know a lot of people who, went long at 69K. They're all like, "Oh yeah, market's manipulated. I should have won that trade." You know what I mean? So that type of stuff. There's always going to be excuses and always things of that nature. If you look at what happened with Robinhood, yeah, it's kind of messed up. They were selling people's data. They were doing these things with milliseconds. I've read about it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's nothing that you couldn't guess the whales would be doing. And I think this is just kind of inevitable for crypto. It may make it a little bit tougher with the scalp trades in terms of the things I've read about, because there are a lot of people, especially with the ability to still use higher leverage with some of these crypto exchanges. There are some people who have really been killing it with the scalp trades, including myself to a certain extent. And I mean, that's where it would be a little bit concerning in terms of like swing trades, day trades. I don't think based on what I read about that stuff, it's not that big a deal. The other thing I want to say involving it is it's interesting that they picked like Bitcoin Cash, which has been like the most dead thing, down like 98%, basically at borderline. I mean, I was thinking this bear market would be the one where it finally goes to zero and just becomes forgotten about, like a pot coin or whatever. But they're probably thinking about the ones that most likely won't be, classified as securities. They're probably a little bit afraid of that too. So that's something to just keep in mind. It's something that would show you that we probably have at least a few months more to go with like altcoins really getting killed against Bitcoin, especially ones other than Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. So just keep that in mind. That's what I would take away from that a little bit.
Hey, Evan, always remember somewhere there is a Bitcoin Cash maxi, and they're very excited about this news. Robert Petrie, I didn't miss your super chat. I was saving your super chat for this moment because it's going to lead into my question. Robert with the super chat, big drop if ETFs get denied. PSYOP maybe. Well, Wendy, we saw the SEC action against Coinbase and Binance is seemingly coordinated within 24 hours. Then a week later, we're seeing TradFi institutions pouring in. Robert saying, is there a PSYOP? I tend to agree. It smells like a conspiracy here. Is there anything to the strong arm enforcement actions a week or two ago? And then what we're seeing with the floodgates are open with traditional institutions.
So I think that there's a chance that this could be a PSYOP and it can be you. I think there's a chance. I don't think that there is. What is BlackRock strike rate? It's like 350 plus ETFs out of one have been approved. So I don't think that they would file and put and have this publicized as much as it has, unless that they knew it was going to get released. I also think that the timing is very get approved. The timing is very interesting here. Coinbase and Binance just got hit by the SEC and very predatory practices. And I actually did it. I'm doing a show on this whole entire thing today. It drops at 3:30 p.m. PST. Go to my channel. Anyways, I think it is going to get approved, especially with the Fidelity news that came out today, the trading desk, all of that type. Well, not the trading desk, the whatever it is. I think it's going to get approved. I don't know why they wouldn't. I also do have an inside source from somebody who does work at BlackRock that sends me messages all the time. This person is anonymous. So I don't know if it's accurate or not, but they said we can expect a lot more things to be coming out when it gets closer to August. So that's just my personal opinion. But
all right, maybe a new Mr. X there. All right, we'll keep an eye out on all of these developments as they're happening. Now, Randy, I want to ask about, there's two coins, obvious, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ether. Then there's two coins that is leaving a lot of people scratching their heads. Not Tom, of course, but what are your thoughts about Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash? It's on, the business news. You'll see it with, two other coins. You see it always one of the top trading things. Why is Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin still lingering around? Will we ever get rid of these coins?
Oh my gosh. Bitcoin Cash, I really can't answer for, to be honest. I don't think a lot of people personally use it if you look at the metrics, but Litecoin's never going away. I've been talking about Litecoin since I got on crypto Twitter before a lot of people started talking about it back in 2020. And I really do think it's sound money. It's key for our future. If you think at the fundamentals of Litecoin, it's basically Bitcoin's code, just cheaper and faster. Everyone talks about the Lightning Network this, Lightning Network that. But who created the Lightning Network? Where did it come from? Who did the first Lightning transaction? Oh, wait, that was Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, and Jack Mallers, which, again, is a fact that's slept on. Also, there's a finite supply of 84 million Litecoin. You have OmniLite, where you could build on top of Litecoin. And then you have MWeb, which is fungibility and privacy, which is what you need in sound money. If you are transacting and you want to have that privacy, you can opt in with Litecoin. So I think that's going to save a lot of people's lives in the future. And I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of people in other countries can't transact freely. We already saw this within the traditional financial system associated with protests. So Litecoin's never going away. I think it's going to play a huge role in our future that people, again, just don't realize yet. Even if you look at Gary Gensler and clips of him from 2018 at a Bloomberg conference, he was saying Bitcoin, ETH, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash are commodities. It's very clear. It's simple, fair launch, proof of work. And again, there was no pre-mine. There was no way that it was given out to people beforehand. So I think in all fairness that people shouldn't sleep on Litecoin. And I think even if you look at, price, right? Everyone complains about Litecoin price. But if you really think about it, price doesn't equal value a lot of the time. People were saying Bitcoin should be $1 million. I believe that too. But is no one going to buy it if Bitcoin's not $1 million? Absolutely not. Are people going to use Litecoin? Yes, they're using it now. The daily active users are spiking. It hit a record amount of transactions during the BRC and BRC20 spike, where gas fees on Bitcoin and Ethereum were too high. People were using Litecoin. If you look at whale alerts, there are literal millions of Litecoin. Again, there's only 84 million that can exist, but people are moving millions almost every day because it's feasible and it's worth it to use it. And a lot of people, again, are going to realize that very soon. I don't know why people hate on it. I don't know why people sleep on it, but the halving is also really awesome as well.
All right. Well, I feel like I learned more about Litecoin than I ever have in my entire life. Hit the like button if you learned some more about Litecoin as well. Yeah, if we look at the all-time chart, it passed it did pass one of the first of two bullish metrics. Did it put in a second high after the 2017-2018 bull run? Marginally. So, okay. All right. Well, can't kill it if it's not dead, I guess. All right. Well, let's talk about FTX burning all of your money, potentially the tune of $2 million a day. There's just 7 months after we figured out they filed for bankruptcy. We figured out $121 million was spent over a 2-month period, $60 million a month, $2 million a day. This money, they did a deep dive. We know where the money went, okay? It didn't go for Sam Bankman-Fried haircuts. It went to various things like legal, consulting, financial services, fees, and expenses. We saw the breakdown of who got what. The consulting firm that's in charge of, helping them transition through bankruptcy, their name is Alvarez and Marcel Restructuring Consultants. They got $37 million over 2 months, including over $1 million just in extra expenses. I did a little breakdown of the expenses. Lodging, $150,000. Food, $50,000 on food for these consultants. That's pretty good Caribbean fare, I guess. There also $37 million went to their lawyers, the lawyer firm Sullivan and Cromwell. All right, well, Wendy, I know you probably have some pretty strong opinions on this, but I can't help but hear this and feel like it's a broken system. Is this a broken system? Is this the best we got? I mean, is there a better way?
No, there's not a better way because US law overrides all. So basically what's going to happen with bankruptcy, everybody's going to pretty much get screwed. There's not going to be a positive aspect for this. We saw what happened with Voyager, and the SEC kind of stifled what happened with Voyager. Binance US wanted to come in and help out, reorganize the company. SEC says, no, you can't do that. So Voyager creditors, we're going to get like 70%. Now we're only getting like 35% now, which sucks, but it is what it is. As far as the whole bankruptcy thing, I think it's just a big scam. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even think that they should bother trying to relaunch. Like, unfortunately, it sucks because FTX International did have really, really great TradFi type of products available. However, I just think that the brand is too tainted and there's too many problems with it. And the longer that these cases go on, the more attorneys' fees get eat up. That gets taken away from creditors. So I probably won't be getting anything I had on FTX back, which I think it was just a few NFTs. I don't remember at this point. I've completely written all this stuff off. But bankruptcy is not good. But again, I do think that the FTX thing was semi-orchestrated to an extent with some of the TradFi bullish news that we're seeing today.
All right. And some of you have some pretty funny comments about their food. Some vegan smart pills. Potentially, that's a whole lot of chicken eggs. Guys, they're vegan, okay? They can't buy eggs. They'd have to get the egg substitute. So I don't know where this money is going. All right. Well, Evan, Wendy brings up a good point. They were known to have some good products. Obviously, the implosion was a bad thing. Commingling funds was a bad thing. What SBF did was a bad thing. But can they relaunch? And if so, can it be successful?
No, never say never, but there's a quote in the Bible that says, to those who have, more will be given, and to those who don't have, the little that they do have will be taken away. The little money that is left for retail is now being taken away by someone else who's smart, lawyers. So it's just funny to me how this kind of works. And then all they do is let's just make these clickbaity articles. FTX coming back after all this, so the journalists could make some money too. Let's get all these clicks too. It's just a whole hodgepodge of nonsense here. There's probably a 98 or 99% chance that FTX is not coming back. If it does come back, nobody's going to use it after all this. Like, come on, like, let's just be real. Nobody. I would say I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole, even if I knew 100% it was not, and my money was safe there. I still wouldn't use it just because of the name. There's that name recognition. What is that Warren Buffett quote? What is it? It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. And once it's ruined, it's pretty much done. So that's what I would say. I mean, this is just money for journalists and money for lawyers.
Yeah, I'm not touching it. It could be in the golden pocket, and I wouldn't touch it. Those little trading. Hey, hit that like button if you like to trade a little crypto here. All right. Well, final question here, Randy. Wendy, potentially has some funds. There's other people potentially have some funds. We're seeing a burn rate of $2 million a day. At this point, what can people expect? Is it pennies on the dollar, dimes on the dollar, quarters? Can I get quarters on the dollar here?
I really wouldn't expect much. And I think that's really unfortunate because I think people could correct me, but didn't the IRS want their cut of this too? Like there's so many government industries, government organizations, 3-letter organizations that are just having their hand in all of it. The SEC, you have they inevitably maybe have to get involved in this. So you have a lot of people that are just commenting, a lot of government money spent where all of these hearings were going on and they were talking about CZ Binance in the middle of their hearings. So I think a lot of this is just really drawn out. On top of that, they're thinking of dropping charges. They're just using this time to maybe reevaluate the case, make some little changes here and there because it's been a while. It's fading out. People don't remember. If you look at John Ray's pay, he's getting millions. He's just sitting there talking about FTX reboot. They had it in their plans. So even if they do try to make a move with FTX 2.0, of course, nobody's going to touch it. But I do, again, I think this is pretty insane. And I do think that, again, people should not expect much because there's properties being thrown away. There's a bunch of lawyers on the case and independent examiners that they also had to spend money on recently that they didn't really want to spend money on. They were going back and forth about it. I wish nothing but the best for you guys with FTX.
And food expenses. You cannot forget the $50,000 in food expenses, guys. Okay, we got to get these tofu eggs. These things aren't cheap. A couple things. Don't forget, Wendy's going to go live 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. And comment of the day goes to Mind Your Biz, who did a really good job raising awareness for ATB Daily, Twitter being taken down. Is Evan victim shaming by using the Bible? Oh, and in that note, we're going to lead to Evan actually took it home. So I guess he used that fire and brimstone and he rode it all the way. He rode that chariot to victory. So Evan, feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts.
Oh man, it's an exciting time. The second half, what I'll say, the most important thing to realize right here from a retail investor standpoint, the second half of 2023 seems like it's going to be similar to the second half of 2019. Don't chase the tops. Don't chase the bottoms. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility. This is the time not to be stupid. Accumulate Bitcoin because, not financial advice, but Bitcoin because Bitcoin dominance is probably going to keep rising and all the things with the SEC. Get a good Bitcoin position for the next bull run. Maybe get ready to convert some of that into Ethereum altcoins when the time is right, at least a few more months, in my opinion. So, yeah.
All right. When is the time right? The time to hit the like button is certainly now. So please go ahead and hit that. We at 279 live. Guys, I think we can get to 1,000 if you're watching. And if you're watching right now, let's get to 300 within the next 10 seconds. I'll wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. We did it. That's the narrative that I'm going to push. All right. Well, that's all we got. Until next time, make sure you check out everyone's links below in the description. Follow their channels. Follow their socials. That's all we got. DZ and the gang, we're out.